Hello crafty friends, I'm Lien from Studio Cato and I'm so glad you're joining me again today. Today I'm making a simple masculine card because some people asked me to try my hand at a masculine design. Now I just give everyone a pretty card. I don't really care whether it's blue or pink or anything like that. But I figured I'd discuss something to make a more neutral design if you're looking for ideas. For this card, I started by stamping some images from the Cocktail Party stamp set by Catherine Pooler onto Clairefontaine DCP 250 GSM cardstock. Now this is a wonderful stamp set because it has the outline images and it also has some stamps to fill them in. And I stamped the outlines in Versamark ink and embossed them with Wow metallic silver embossing powder. And then I heat set that before stamping the liquid inside of the glass and the bottle. I wanted to get the perfect whiskey shade and it took some experimenting, like you can see off to the side. In the end, I ended up using some Pink Fresh Studio inks. I used the apricot ink and the clementine ink. So I first stamp a layer of the apricot ink, which is the lightest one. Then I roll my stamp onto the darker ink, just making sure, there you can see it, that I don't ink up the entire thing. And that will give you some nice shading towards the bottom. Now I fussy cut those out and then I can start working on my background pieces. And I just die cut some circles and then emboss them with the Altenew embossing folder. I forgot the name, but I will list it in the description. I used this embossing folder because a great thing to include in masculine designs is some geometric shapes. And this is a very geometric embossing folder, and it has the added benefit of some dimension as well. So it adds a really nice effect to your cardstock. And then I added some ink on top of that. I am using the reverse confetti inks today for the first time. And these are so wonderful. I didn't really hear about anyone using these inks, but they are amazing. They are so smooth. The colors are so saturated. I love them. And to get the colors I want, I am just overlapping a couple of them. I used some purple and some dark blue in that last one. And because I thought the transition between that aqua shade and the dark blue was too big, I added some more dark blue and then I am adding some more aqua. If you're trying to get a super specific shade of ink, you could probably try layering different inks on top of each other. This works especially well with dye inks, not so great with pigment inks. Now to put this card together, I die cut a rectangle that will be slightly smaller than my A2 sized card. And I layered 5 extra pieces of thick white cardstock behind that with Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. And this will just add some dimension to my card. I can then arrange my pieces on top of that and trim off the excess on one of the pieces, and then I can put those on top of my card. So I just glued the stacked rectangle on my card base, and then I can prop up my images, including the circles, on some foam tape. I like using foam tape behind anything that's embossed, anything that has an intricate texture to it, because it will allow that texture to stay. If you would glue this on different pieces of cardstock, like it did with the rectangle, you would lose some of that texture probably in the mail. But because the foam tape has some give to it, you won't have that problem. Now to add a little bit of something extra, I am using some Nouveau drops to add some embellishments. I'm using the silver one today, which will match nicely with the outlines of my images. If you're just starting out your card making journey, you should probably invest in 1 or 2 bottles of Nouveau drops if you're interested in using embellishments in your cards. Because ultimately, this is a much cheaper way of getting some embellishments, and you can make them any size you want. If you choose some neutral color bottles, I would recommend the metallic shades, and especially the ivory seashell color, which is great. It fits any design. I love that color. You can use them a lot. I would pretty much use them on every card if I didn't have any other embellishments. Now for my matching envelope, I'm sticking to the blue theme, and I just folded that with my We Are Memory Keepers 123 punch board, following the instructions on the punch board itself. And then I can reinforce those score lines and adhere it together with more of that Barely Art Precision Craft glue. And to simply make it match my card design, I am just taking one of these images I used from that Catherine Pooler stamp set and embossing that with the same silver embossing powder on that envelope. And that's it, a super simple envelope to match a super simple card. I really like how this card turned out with the texture in the background, and I really like the layout as well. I hope you like it too. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video and leave your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to read them. I would also love to hear some suggestions you might have for videos, like a masculine card design, for example. If you have some questions about card making, I'd love to answer them with a video. You can also subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos, and hit that bell button below if you want to get notifications every time I upload. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.